of exotic spices, alien oils, and the electric hum of hundreds of different species passing through. Merchants shouted in overlapping languages. Ships roared overhead, and light from twin suns spilled across the dusty metal streets of the orbital bazaar. Yet in the middle of all that noise, there was a silent space, a wide circle of emptiness in the crowd. People avoided it as if it were toxic. At its center stood her. She was tall, draped in flowing dark robes that fluttered in the artificial wind of passing skiffs. Her face was hidden beneath a crystalline mask that shimmered faintly, casting strange patterns of light across the ground. The mask's glow pulsed faintly, once every heartbeat. The locals called her the untouchable. Rumor said that anyone who touched her would wither into dust within minutes. Some claimed she was cursed by an ancient warlord. Others swore she carried a plague that not even the medtechs of the Galactic Corps could cure. Whatever the truth was, no one dared to be near her for more than a few seconds. No one except him, the human. He wasn't much to look at least not by galactic standards. Just an average man from a small blue planet far from the core. He'd been working the cargo docks for months, earning his credits by moving crates of ore and machinery between freighters. His name was Daniel Cole, and though he didn't know it yet, today was the day he would make every creature in the marketplace stop and stare. Daniel noticed her while on break, leaning against a bulkhead and sipping bitter CAF from a dented tin cup. The way the crowd bent around her was unnatural, like water flowing around a stone. She wasn't begging, wasn't moving, just standing there, holding a small bundle wrapped in cloth. Curiosity got the better of him. He stepped away from the wall, weaving through the crowd. The closer he got, the more he could feel it, an almost tangible pressure in the air, like static before a lightning strike. He stopped a few feet away. "You need help?" he asked. Her head turned slowly toward him. Behind the crystal mask, her eyes were an unnatural shade, glowing faintly, like stars burned behind a thin veil of glass. "You should not be here," she said softly. Her voice carried a weight that made his stomach tighten. "Why not?" "Because touching me will be your death." Daniel smirked faintly, not out of arrogance, but because he'd heard his share of spaceport ghost stories. "I've been told I'm stubborn about that kind of thing." Around them, a few merchants paused their shouting to watch. Others whispered nervously. Someone muttered, "The human's gone mad." The woman turned away, clutching the bundle tighter. "Leave me," she murmured. Daniel didn't. Instead, he stepped closer until he could see that the bundle wasn't just cloth. It was a child. A tiny one, frail and pale, breathing shallowly. The child's skin shimmered with faint lines, like cracks in porcelain. "She's sick," Daniel said quietly. "Yes," the woman replied. "She is dying, and I cannot save her." Daniel glanced at the crowd. No one moved to help. They all kept their distance, eyes full of fear. He understood then it wasn't the woman they feared. It was what she carried. "What's wrong with her?" he asked. "A disease of my people," she said. "It spreads through touch. One skin against another, and it takes root. No medicine here can stop it. Your kind would call it incurable." He looked down at the child again. Her breasts were ragged, and her tiny hands twitched weakly. "You've been standing here hoping someone would risk it," he guessed. The woman didn't answer. Her silence was answer enough. Daniel took a slow breath. Logic screamed at him to walk away. Every instinct told him that she was dangerous. But then he thought of the kid, small, fragile, and alone except for the woman holding her. He remembered his little sister back on Earth, and the day he'd nearly lost her to fever when he was 12. If a stranger hadn't stepped in to help, she'd be gone. He made his choice. Daniel set his cup aside, stepped forward, and reached out. The woman flinched, but didn't step back. "Don't," she whispered, her voice trembling for the first time. He ignored her. His hand brushed the child's forehead. The skin was hot, feverish but soft, warm. He adjusted his grip, supporting her head gently, and felt the faintest pulse under his fingers. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone shouted, "He's touched her!" Others began to back away. The woman stared at him in shock. "Why would you?" "Because she's a kid," Daniel said simply. "And kids don't deserve to die because people are scared." He examined the child closely, his brow furrowed. "There's a med bay 2 streets over. If we run, maybe they can keep her alive long enough to figure something out." "You're not afraid?" Daniel glanced up at her, his expression steady. "Terrified. But fear's not a reason to do nothing." For a long moment, she didn't move. Then, slowly, the woman nodded. She lifted the mask from her face, revealing striking features marked by faint glowing lines like those on the child. The crowd recoiled further, some turning away completely. Daniel shifted the child into his arms. "Let's go." They ran, through the twisting alleys of the bazaar, past startled vendors and suspicious guards. The human and the untouchable moved together. The med bay door slid open at their approach, and the staff, though hesitant, did not turn them away when Daniel barked orders and handed over the child. Hours later, as the child rested under quarantine, the woman sat beside Daniel in the waiting room. She watched him with those starlit eyes, her voice quiet. "No one has touched me in many years," she said. "Not without fear. Not without dying." Daniel arched an eyebrow. "So am I doomed or what?" She shook her head slowly. "No, I think you are different." "Different how?" Her lips curved into the faintest smile. "Perhaps human.